U.S. Border Patrol says they're investigating reports of disturbing social media activity on a secret Facebook group for Border Patrol agents. These posts included vulgar comments about Latina lawmakers and twisted remarks about migrant deaths. Meanwhile, members of Congress got a firsthand look at some of the detention facilities holding these migrants, and CNN's Nick Valencia is live in Clint, Texas, with more. What did they learn?
Good morning, Allison. The National Border Patrol chief and the U.S. Border Patrol Council were quick to condemn those social media posts, but what they did do is bring added scrutiny to an agency just as members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus showed up to tour the facilities here along the southern border.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection under fire and under investigation, digging into what it calls disturbing and completely inappropriate social media posts, allegedly written by current and former employees in a closed Facebook group. ProPublica first exposing I'm 1015, the group reportedly named after a code for undocumented immigrants in custody. One post about the father and daughter who drowned last week crossing the Rio Grande. According to the website, one member asked if the photo could have been faked because the bodies were so clean. When questioned about the disturbing posts, President Trump said he did not see them.
The Border Patrol, they're patriots, they're great people. They love our country. They know what's coming in.
CNN obtaining these screen grabs from the group, responding to a story about a pregnant teenager and baby held in CBP custody for over a week. One commenter posting, "From the bottom of my heart, I don't give a." According to ProPublica, members also shared lewd and sexist content about Latina Congress members, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
These do not represent the thoughts of the men and women of the U.S. Border Patrol. Each one of these allegations will be thoroughly investigated.
All this comes as the New York Congresswoman toured 2 West Texas detention facilities with other House Democrats, the lawmakers leaving outraged by the conditions.
What we saw today was unconscionable. No child should ever be separated from their parent.
I am tired of the health and the safety, the humanity, and the full freedoms of black and brown children being negotiated and compromised and moderated.
Congressional Hispanic Caucus Chairman Joaquin Castro managed to capture some of what he saw, posting this video to Twitter, showing women inside a cramped cell.
When we went into the cell, it was clear that the water was not running. There was a toilet, but there was no running water for people to drink. In fact, one of the women said that she was told by an agent to drink water out of the toilet.
CBP tells CNN the claim of people drinking from toilets is completely untrue.
Joining us now is Democratic Congresswoman Norma Torres. She toured 3 border facilities in Texas yesterday. Congresswoman, it is so great to have you here sharing what you saw with your own eyes in these facilities. Surely women are not drinking out of the toilets in these facilities. Did you see that?
I did not see women drinking out of the toilets. However, that is exactly what these women said to us, that there is no running water within the cell except for a flushable toilet. They were also using reusable throwaway cups, not plastic, but paper cups. You could tell that they had been used for maybe a couple of days because of how they looked. Those are inhumane conditions for adults, but can you imagine seeing babies, seeing toddlers in those conditions? The world ought to be outraged about what is happening here within our nation, and I call on the world to act and demand better.
Last week, when we heard about the deplorable conditions of children who there was apparently an influenza outbreak, they were sick, they had dirty diapers, there weren't adults around, there were some adolescents taking care of children. We were told that those conditions had been fixed. Did you see progress yesterday when you went in? Has anything been fixed?
I did not see progress. What I saw were jail cells, cement jail cells where children are being kept alone in group-like settings. Children that are sitting and sleeping on the floor with the air conditioner going full blast, wearing nothing but the dirty clothes and being covered with a aluminum type of sheet. Imagine your child having to live under those conditions. It is inhumane, it is embarrassing, and what we need to do is we need to send every single one of these border agents back to training, because they certainly haven't been versed on what is humane and inhumane.
Congressman, before we get to that Facebook group, which we will talk about how callous so many of the comments are on there. But first, Congressman Joaquin Castro somehow got a camera in. Our cameras are not allowed in. And he got a little bit of video of some of these cells, and you can see the overcrowding conditions, women on the floor, women just draping themselves in the thin blankets. Obviously these are not conditions that anyone would want to endure. But Congresswoman, as you know, there's been an influx of migrants. The situation is overcrowded. The officials there say they are overrun. They are overwhelmed. And so what's the answer?
I understand that they are overwhelmed and that they need resources, and so resources have been given to them. However, they have shown very poor, very little judgment on how it is to treat people that are in desperate condition, that are sick, and they're unable to care for these people. I have to say that it is unreasonable to also expect a border agent to have to change a dirty diaper. This is what management needs to step up and ensure that they are given all of the resources that they need. If we need babysitters there at those locations, then we should have babysitters to care for these children. If we need nurses there to care for the ill, we should be having nurses there. And if people are so sick that they have to be quarantined away from the rest of the detainees, then they should not be sleeping on the cold floor the way we saw them yesterday.
Okay, I want to get to...
I want to be sure.
Yes,
I want to make sure that you understand that the conditions have not changed a single bit from the last time where I was at one of these locations 8 months ago.
Oh, thank you for your perspective on all of that. It's really important for us to hear. So ProPublica did this investigative report, and they found a secret Facebook page or group with 9,500 members, all of whom they say are Border Patrol agents. And the comments on there are so disgusting. The comments range from the most vulgar things being said about female members of Congress to an incredible callous disregard to the migrants who have died. I'll read a couple of comments as best I can on morning TV. Here is what it said before your visit. Before your visit, they were responding to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They didn't like that she had likened the conditions to concentration camps. So here's what one post said. One member encouraged Border Patrol agents to hurl a burrito at these B words. Another, apparently a patrol supervisor, wrote, "F the hose. There should be no photo ops for these scum buckets," posted a third member. Next, about Oscar Martinez, the young man, 25 years old, who drowned along with his daughter, who was 23 months old, Valeria. Here's what they wrote. Have you all seen floaters this clean? I'm not trying to be an ass, but I have never seen floaters this clean, the person wrote, adding, could this be another edited photo? We've all seen the Dems and liberal parties do some pretty sick things. The idea that this is what is overtly being written. I mean, granted, it's a secret group, but for 10,000 people to see. So, back to the first post here. How were you treated when you went there?
Well, I was definitely concerned. We were disrespected when we were there. We had a conversation with management about this article before we enter the location. Now, we were told that our staffs had to stay outside and that we had to keep either our phones there at the entry way or we had to leave them in the car. Now, I don't trust to leave my cell phone with these individuals that would threaten members of Congress while we are in the process of doing our job. Let me remind these people that this is our job. Oversight is our job, and that's what we were doing. And to threaten members of Congress, I certainly did not feel safe to be inside this location. I voiced those concerns, and I also voiced my concern for the safety of my staff that was left outside and who was going to be taking care and ensuring that no attacks were going to be against our staff. And they reassured us of that, but certainly when we walked inside the facility, there were CBP agents that were taking photos, photos with us in the background. None of us had a cell phone to be able to record these actions by these agents.